Details on Sony's A7S III are few and light on specifics, but we have an update on the A7S III's imminent release. According to the latest Rumours, Sony is planning to release the A7S III in early 2020 with an announcement coming soon. Will Sony try to beat Canon's 1DX Mark III announcement and release? Sure, it's possible. Canon's official announcement of the 1DX will happen at the end of January, with product release sometime in March or shortly thereafter. Canon likely provided the development announcement to keep customers from going to Panasonic or Sony. The A7S III will have a new sensor, but it will not have 8K video as it would need a much bigger sensor resolution. It would need 24 megapixels for 6K and 34 megapixels for 8K. This is consistent with other rumors where staff have tested prototypes claiming the camera does not have 8K. However, it is definitely capable of delivering 4K 120. 4K 120 is significant because it delivers slow motion by a factor of 4 times. 120 frames per second delivers buttery smooth slow motion. This would be a first for 4K in a consumer camera, albeit at the top end of the budget for the ordinary filmmaker. All my current projects are exported in 1080p. When I upgrade my camera, I'll shoot in 4K, but I'll continue to deliver in 1080p. I love being able to punch in, simulate multiple camera angles, and create pans without having any rolling shutter. If I deliver in 4K, I lose those capabilities unless, of course, the camera can shoot in 8K or 6K. So do I need 4K? Not as a final product. 4K provides no real benefit to my viewers. Mobile devices have small screens, making 1080p more than sufficient. Very good and sharp 1080p looks just as good as 4K from 8 feet away. Back to that MX521-CQR sensor. The sensor is capable of both 15 and 61 megapixels. According to a recent rumor surfaced over the web, the upcoming Sony A7S III camera may use Sony's recently developed MX521-CQR sensor. The Sony IMX521-CQR sensor uses color square pixel array architecture. With the help of this color square pixel array architecture, the camera captures 15.36 megapixels still shots and features excellent high sensitivity mode. When used in normal mode, the sensor splits up its photosites, further making it a 61.44 megapixel quad Bayer sensor. This would allow the camera to shoot video full sensor wide while giving photographers 61 megapixels for detailed shots using the quad Bayer structure. But this is still a rumor, and having higher megapixels is likely to provide photographers with higher detailed photos. It will not be used to deliver 6K or 8K. There are easier ways to deliver this. So video is looking pretty good with 4K 120 with 10-bit internal recording in 422. It is not unexpected. Kenja Tanaka said, "The basic expectation is for things like 4K 60, 10-bit 422, and a lot of manufacturers are doing that right now. But I want to think in a different way and create something that goes beyond the expectations of our customers. It's easy to add 4K, but beyond the specs, a lot of customers have other kinds of demands, and that's what we're researching." Sony has pretty much sequestered staff working on this camera from the rest of Sony. We will know in short order if these rumors are accurate. The A7S III will have a cooling vent, as shooting in 4K 120 will generate a significant amount of heat, and Sony has had trouble in the past with cameras overheating. I speculate that it will have a fan with a similar design to that of the Panasonic S1H. How loud will it be? It's impossible to say, but noise should not be a problem if you're using a lapel or boom mic. But if you're using a shotgun microphone mounted to the camera, that could pose a problem. I want to address 8K one more time, as quad-bare sensors seem to be the cause behind this belief that the A7S III can deliver 8K video. All cameras use a bare filter. It's how we get color information from the sensor. Without color filters, the sensor has no way of sensing color information. The bare filter uses 3 color filters, red, green, and blue, and combines them to produce color. A standard sensor has half the pixels sensitive to green and the remaining pixels split between red and blue. Green is given priority as the human eye is more sensitive to it. A quad-bare sensor has 4 pixels behind each color square instead of just 1. This often leads marketing departments claiming that a 20 megapixel sensor using a quad layer structure can generate an 80 megapixel image. Well, it can generate an 80 megapixel file. Many would argue that the results do not show any more meaningful detail. This is similar to the claim that the Panasonic S1H was able to produce 180 megapixel cameras using sensor shift. While the S1 can produce 180 megapixel images, the conditions must be perfect. There cannot be any wind or movement in the frame. The camera needs to be stabilized, so yes, it can produce 180 megapixel images, just like the A7S III will be able to produce 61 megapixel images. But will there be enough detail there? We'll have to see. But will this allow us to capture 8K video? That's unlikely. Sony has done an amazing job of catching up to both Canon and Nikon over the years, and in many areas, simply surpassing them. Over the S2, they've had 4 years of research and development, so the final product is going to be amazing. But what's it going to cost? Is it designed to compete against the Panasonic S1H or the Canon 1DX Mark III? I certainly hope not, because if that's the case, and it has a similar price point, it's not going to be for this ordinary filmmaker. Will Sony split the A7S III into multiple models as Panasonic did with the S1? Perhaps. That could make a lot of sense. They could produce a base model with the same price point as the A7S II, and then produce an 8K model to compete against the 1DX or the S1H. We have very little to go on. Sony has done a great job of keeping the lid on the A7S III, but why can't they do what Canon did and offer us something? Why can't they give us a development announcement? There is way too little out there to seed my dreams of what this could be, but an announcement is imminent. Sony will be releasing it in the first half of 2020. They want to be ready for the Tokyo Olympics. Sony has no intention of being left behind by Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, and Fuji. Canon will be releasing at least 3 models in early 2020. The 1DX flagship, the 5D, and a few EOS Rs. Fuji has the X-T4, and Panasonic will release the GH6. Detailed 4K will become the norm. 120 frames per second will be the norm in 4K. 6K and 8K will start to appear. The GH5, after all, already has 6K. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of new videos. See you soon.